As a young black man, when you see people like Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, whatever you want to refer to him as or whatever you want to call him, when you see him doing the bidding of white supremacists and people whose main focus is to advance the agenda of people like MAGA and Donald Trump, it's really, really frustrating. But when you see someone like a Tezlyn Figaro who can stand up to someone like Officer Tatum and put him in his place based on facts, it's something that everybody should tune into. And in this clip, we're going to see Tezlyn Figaro do the exact same thing when it comes to Brandon Tatum in regards to the death of Nolan Wells. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end. Let's get into it.
Now is Revolt News chief political correspondent Tezlyn Figaro and former police officer and host of the Officer Tatum show, Brandon Tatum. Great to see both of you. Thanks for being here. So, Brandon, let's start with you. Just from a law enforcement perspective, what do you make of the timeline, the lack of answers, what maybe occurred here?
Well, I think the first thing is that these activists have came in and brought in information or lies about circumstances to make people question. The law enforcement officers have already done an autopsy. They've already investigated. There's no sign of foul play. And one thing that's very interesting that I just found out recently is that it wasn't a situation where you have Nolan Wells and four of the kids at an island. There's thousands of people there. There's hundreds of different boats. So him staying behind while some of his other friends went back to the mainland wasn't that suspicious. I really wish that the family would focus on Nolan Wells' life, focus on the investigation, and let the police do their job instead of interjecting race into this situation. And it's completely unnecessary to be there at this point.
So, Tezlyn, you've worked with Ben Crump. You have valuable insight into how he operates. You're not speaking for him tonight, but what do you think about the timeline and whether it determines whether Nolan was still alive before the boat left the island, like his friends insist?
Yeah, thank you, Katie. I'm speaking as a mom, of a 19-year-old. In the same way Officer Tatum wishes that people would not insert lies, I wish Officer Tatum would allow the investigation, the independent investigation, to run its course. You don't know, Mr. Tatum, what has been talked about in this investigation. It has not been complete, and people have not came forward to say what happened with Nolan Wells. So I actually do believe his parents when they said that they taught their son to leave with whoever you came with. So for you to make the accusations that that is a lie when they're burying their son on Monday is, quite frankly, to be disgusting, Officer Tatum.
Well,
and I'm ashamed.
You know what's
And
funny? I hope that you're paying attention to this, because there's a lot of information that have come out, and I've gotten firsthand knowledge about some things that have happened on that island, and people are going to be ashamed of themselves for sitting here lying and pushing racism in this circumstance.
Well,
I don't know what happened, but I
too.
do know. I'll let you finish. I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just saying I got firsthand knowledge too. But as we're talking about right now, as we're talking about right now, you made the accusation that there were lies, that that race has been interjected. Like I said last week, if people don't want people to speculate, then investigate. So this
well, that's true. Brandon, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that topic, because Ben Crump is notorious and has been criticized by people who have used him in the past for their cases of being an ambulance chaser, pushing a narrative that fits the racial lens that he wants it to. You've talked about this on your podcast and how you believe young black men are unfortunately killed every single day. And people like Ben Crump and Al Sharpton just highlight certain stories that benefit them rather than the families.
Well, let's keep it real. This is all about money. Benjamin Crump will never show up to a kid's funeral or say anything about a kid that's killed by another black kid. But if there's an opportunity to interject racism into a situation where there's no evidence of racism, Benjamin Crump will be there to do it. What is his end goal? He's not a criminal. He's not a criminal attorney. So he's not going to help the family get justice on a criminal level. He's a civil rights attorney. You don't need a civil rights attorney in a case where you're wondering if the investigation is going right for your son, unless you believe this has something to do with racism.
Let him finish, and then I'll let you talk. Okay, let him finish his point, and then I'll let you
respond.
He's going on a diatribe.
So let's
no, he's not. He's speaking,
ahead,
and I'll let you respond as soon as he's done making his point.
Katie, I'll let the young lady go. Go ahead. I would love to hear what you got to say to that.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Officer Tate. Thank you. Well, let's just once again, speaking about things that you don't know about. Katie, you set it up with talking about Ben Crump being notorious for race baiting. I could name a couple of things that Officer Tatum here is also notorious for. So let's be careful on how we talk about.
We don't need these
And
personal attacks.
I'm gonna finish my statement. I'm gonna finish my statement, and let me also correct you on something else, Mr. Tatum. When you said Ben Crump would never show up for a black kid that was murdered by a black kid, my cousin Jordan Turner, who was 19 and was murdered by another black kid that also went away with his friends and never returned home, guess who showed up? Attorney Benjamin Crump. I know you're looking confused. See, this is why it's important that you
was
have
that related? Was that related to black people? That was black people involved in his death?
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, that's
and they
one.
were convicted, and they were
That's one
convicted.
thing.
And we didn't hear about it plastered all over the media. That's a big difference.
So see, this is why you don't know. This is why you should speak of what you know and not what you heard. So again, when it comes down to Nolan Wells, I ask that we use this time to ask people to come forward and speak about what they know. The young man did not come home, Brandon. He didn't come home. So let's use this time, instead of focusing on what people are saying in the comments, let's continue to stay in.
Brandon, I mean, Ben Crump is the one making this a conversation in the media. Ben Crump is the one making this a conversation in the media. He's the one pushing this out there, so people do speculate ahead of the investigation, not letting it play out. But Brandon, I want to ask you this question. Tezlyn, 1 second. Brandon, there's been a lot of accusation and pushing that Nolan Wells' white friends have not been questioned enough, as if they were somehow responsible for his death based on race. That seems like a highly irresponsible narrative to be pushing, especially when we don't know all of the facts yet.
100%. It is a flat out lie. The police department isn't doing their investigation. They're doing it fair and properly. Benjamin Crump cannot come out right now and say that the investigation isn't going like it should. They're interjecting race into something that has nothing to do with race. These boys were friends. The coach came out, who happened to be a black man, that said he don't believe race is a factor. These boys grew up together. These boys go to school together. This is a tragic situation, and they should leave it at what it is, and that's a tragedy. Let the investigation unfold. Benjamin Crump they're already out saying this has something to do with race because the boy was with white guys. That is asinine.
Just like you described it just like you describe it when you talk about black on black crime constantly. So what a black man, a young black boy went with his white friends and didn't come back. So why are you not asking the white children to speak up? Nobody saw nothing, Brandon.
They are speaking. They are speaking.
Where that he didn't come home.
All right, we gotta run.
White got to do anything.
We got to run. We hope that the family can get some answers because a young man is dead and we want his family to have closure. Tezlyn Figaro and Brandon Tatum, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
So, there's just a couple of things. First and foremost, did you see the way that it is when Katie Pavlich was speaking about Ben Crump? Did you see the setup, the way she set it up? She knew exactly what it was that she was doing. She thinks she's slick. But Katie Pavlich, a staunch supporter of Donald Trump, someone like her, she probably has quite heavily based white supremacist views, but also Officer Brandon Tatum himself. Bear in mind, this was the individual, and I didn't even cover the video. I actually might have to, but this was the same individual who defends all of the comments that it is that Charlie Kirk made when he was alive, talking bad about black people, talking bad about people of color. Brandon Tatum defended when Charlie Kirk said that black people were better off during slavery. He literally defended that on Piers Morgan's show, literally within the last couple of days. So just so that you guys know, to give you a heads up, that's the type of person that it is that we're dealing with. But like I said at the top of the show, the frustration for me when it comes to things like this is just the simple fact that when you have someone like Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum, that they call him, it literally makes the job of fighting racism so much harder, because white people don't have to spread their negative views and their negative thoughts. Now, let me make it clear. Obviously, not all white people have negative thoughts about people of color and black people. You know, but people like Katie Pavlich, MAGA, these types of individuals, when they have negative things that they want to say about black people, they don't have to say it. All they can do is they can get someone like Officer Tatum, push him out front, and then they can allow him to say those things, because you can't really say anything to him because he is a black man. You know, it's the same as, what's his name, Byron Donaldson. something Scott. These individuals, Wesley something as well. These individuals, they can do the bidding of white supremacists because of the fact that you can't call them racist or anything like that. And that's exactly just an example of what this is. You know, it's quite interesting that Officer Tatum, he said what it is that he said, but then as soon as Tezlyn fact checked him based off her own family's personal experience, what was his response? Oh, that's only one example. Well, I mean, that's an example that you didn't know. So the chances are there's probably a ton more of examples that are like there, that are out there, but you just don't know about them. Now, the fact that it is that these individuals say the things that it is that they say. Now, look, let's not be stupid here. Let's not be unrealistic. We know the history of the United States when it comes to race and racism. We know the history. We know that racism is still at large right now. The man that sits in the White House is a racist. So we can't sit here and act like, oh, you know, there's no chance that there's any foul play here. Listen, if the case doesn't make sense and the family want to do a further investigation, they should be able to do that. And who is Officer Tatum and Katie Pavlich to be able to tell the parents of Nolan Wells how they should and shouldn't feel and deal with this situation? Honestly, it's quite embarrassing, but it shouldn't be a surprise. This is who Officer Tatum is, and this is what he does. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And as usual, do me a favor, hype up the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're less than 9,000 now. Thank you guys. We're less than 9,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next clip.